So, past 2 or 3 days, I was channeling, what you could say, trying to channel, or I would say just conscious channeling for you would say scientist who is working on free energy motors, and he was showing many free energy motors that already are running. Turn off this light. That already are running, and the idea is that while he was showing his ideas that already work well, some of them produce 200 watts, some of them produce 1000 watts, some of them are more efficient than consuming these engines, these motors, these whatever. But the thing is that always looking for something bigger and always looking for something that can be easily moved from side to side, portable. So then he showed is one of his inventions that also produces energy, but there are many problems. And his invention comes. That invention comes from Nikola Tesla and Earth energy, some kind of whatever I don't understand, but it gets energy from Earth energy. I would say it's more easier to understand like that. And once he showed me the device, it was okay. This is the thing. This is the thing you should not need to work on. And he said, "What do you mean?" There was a huge box. I don't know, like a shelf of some kind of wirings and I don't know all kinds of types. But this is the most interesting thing. This is the same as the space-time antenna. This is something the same, only more simpler and given out in a more easier way. And the information was like that. There's full of wirings. The idea is that there is energy coming in from a battery or some kind of a source that is measurable and reproducible, like a battery, like some kind of amplifier, straight into the spiral. There's a spiral like a space-time antenna you have seen if you have watched also Bashar. There's a spiral like this, and inside there is another spiral, and that what comes out from the another spiral is something that both scientists do not understand. And now they ask me, maybe you can figure out what is there. And I instantly understood. Oh well, that what is coming out is a totally different type of energy. It has no polarity and it works differently. Like we would understand, we have a linear. It's I think it's DC. It's electricity goes linearly, and one is a dotted line, like line, like The other is the AC, which is automatically controlling current, which is moving in waves, like this. And these both are created only to be measured. Now, these both currents are only created to be measured. Well, linear, the DC, is created because it has the second intervals, like intervals. And because of these intervals, it can be measured. And AC has the waves, and they have one crossing point. And because of this crossing point, it also can be measured. And I was like, whoa, this is getting really interesting. I said, what is the energy that comes out? The energy that comes out is like a DNA spiral. It moves in spiral and never touches. It's a completely different energy. And I was like, whoa, this is interesting. And what I received is that this energy cannot be measured by any device. And no device on Earth that is created, like a computer, like a mobile phone, like whatever, will not work on this machine, on this, how was it called? On this energy that comes out. No device will work on it because all devices are configured to be linearly. They're linear devices. And this device will not work. No electric device will not work on this device. That energy comes out, and then the one of the scientists, was asking, well, yeah, but then what is the use of it? He said, because it is infinite. I said, well, it doesn't work. How it can be infinite? No, he said it does work, but it works only for a different system of no, this was Tesla channeling. It works only for a different system of a motor. The energy comes out, but it works only on a different type of a motor. What you have motors is like there is this wiring. I don't know the material, how it's called, copper wires. I don't know how they call. They are almost yellow, like they're orange like wires, shining wires and wires. And inside there is a magnet. And the idea is that there is electricity always changing the polarities. And because of that, the magnet can rotate. It rotates, then change polarity, rotates. And this, the mechanism, the small controller for this wiring to change will never work. It will always burn. And we said, I asked why it will burn? Because the energy that comes through this, it will never rest. It always wants to be floated. And he said, imagine a planet like Earth going. It cannot be stopped. There is no way it can be stopped. There is no resistance to it that can stop it. And because of this control mechanism, the control mechanism that is in these motors, it creates a certain second pause. For example, the engine turns, and while the engine is turning, the magnet, the polarities in these engine motors are standing and waiting for it to change, to get moved, to move. And the energy wants to be free flowing. And he said, well, the scientist said, well, yeah, that's because it's free energy. It has to be free flowing. And he said, yes, and it got very funny then. And the next thing I wanted to share was, it's only the beginning. And he was all, yeah, but now we have a question. When you input energy into this time-space antenna, whatever it's called, when you input energy in it, will the output be greater than the input? And then I got paused, and my mind was starting coming. And I didn't understand. The information is coming, but I don't understand it. And I said, okay, I will just say it. The output will not be measurable. He said, well, for example, the scientist said, for example, if I put in 200 watts, will it get out 400 watts? He said, the output will not be measurable. It has no value of measurement. It has no measurement at all. You have measurements because you created that energy to be measurable, so you can sell it. You can sell it on your planet, whatever. You have created an energy way of measuring it. The energy that comes out of there is not measurable. And we got really mixed up. Well, for example, if I put 200 watts inside, will it, for example, pick up 1 ton of material, for example? Can it lift 1 ton of a material? He said the material will lose its all physical values. And then it got really interesting for me. I said, lose its all physical values? He said, yes, the material that will be, the energy will be used on a material. And the material will lose all its physical values because of the energy. And then I thought, well, this is strange. No, this is really strange. And the scientist was like, we had like a pause for 30 minutes of not understanding. What do you mean by losing its physical values? And then the information started to come again. He said, for example, a rock, huge rock, has its physical energy values within it, and because of that, it creates the idea of a rock. It creates the placement, the weight, the material consistency of a rock. It creates it all because of the energy within. But this energy, that is not the energy you use, but energy that comes out from this device, can change totally its physical values, such as weight. There will be no weight added to it anymore, such as physical size, I understood, and such as location. Then I was, well, now I know what this is talking about. This is the energy of the universe it's created. This is the energy of the universe. This is the, when I was first starting the channel, when I first started the channel, there was information that the universe is created from light, sound, and energy. And this is the energy of which the universe is created. And this energy creates space and time. This energy creates space, time, and distance. This energy creates distance of a physical value. This energy is one of the main you would say, this is one of the three main, or the three only components of the universe is created. And there were so many ideas. I just decided to tell this because it's standing in me. I want to release it. I want to release it. I don't want to hold it. And the next thing that was even more interesting was that we were continuing to talk about this energy channeling through, and there was another thing, that this energy is also used in space. In other civilizations, it is also used to travel in space. It's also used to teleport. It's also used to time travel. This energy is also used all for that. And this is the same. The object, in comparing in activation with this energy, this object, what energy is applied to an object, it creates space-time. It creates an energy that can change all the values of an object, completely all values. And by only precise work with this and precise mechanisms and precise energy reproductions and precise measuring and precise work with this energy, you can do teleportation with this energy. And then I was more interested in the history of Nikola Tesla, and then more information started to come. And he was smiling. He was looking at me and smiling. He said, "This idea, nobody will understand it without a spiritual understanding of all." You would say that this energy can only be understood by a combination of mind and higher mind, which is the spirituality, and the understanding of how the universe is built and how the universe is existing and what is energy. Because scientists, well, mainstream scientists, they work on measurements, they work all on the energy that is created to be a product for, you would say, commercial. This is a commercial energy. It's like playing with Lego. The government gives out Lego, and humans, you can play with it. And the scientists are working only with this, creating something more. They don't understand that they can create their own Legos, for example. And what I understood from the Tesla history is that while he was young, he had problems with the all energy that is being created. That is so lame in a sense and so unuseful. And he had many visions and many ideas in deeper and deeper understanding ideas, because he was a wisdomer. He wasn't a physical person like mind, job, school, everything. He was you would say, a guru for some kind of a religion, or a guru, some kind of a yogi, you would say. And he was only interested in science. But he was mostly interested in this energy idea that he had. And this idea that he had was that everybody has free energy, because he loved the earth so much. He loved it. He wanted to create free energy for everybody, that everybody can live happily. And the thing is, he invented this energy. So this energy, this free energy, this energy that we was talking about, this teleportation and so on, this was the first energy. And I would like to describe how I saw this energy. Well, this energy is like, the energy is like flowing, and it has no value, is infinite. The energy that is electricity, it has a resource that is for example, water mill or windmill. When there is wind blowing in the generator, it creates movement. And when there is, by wires at the end, there is another motor to spin, it creates movement, and the other motor starts spinning because it's attached to this generator. And then what happens is that the other motor, once it has applied some certain load, the windmill will start turning slower and slower and slower, because it has more pressure on it. and the engine will start spinning slower also, because there is a like a resistance created, and it starts creating resistance upon the wind and everything. Now this energy doesn't have, and it never rests. Imagine this like this: the windmill is spinning in 1000 rpms, and you add how much load do you want to it, it will always spin also in 1000 rpm. It will never rest. And because of that, the wires will start burning, and the wires will start burning. Once there will be added some kind of a microchip or some kind of, these electricity devices, whatever, they will start to burn, because they will start to create the impulses, and they will burn down. So the actual heat that is coming, it is only be created by resistance that is coming out. And because the windmill is starting to spinning slower, the engine doesn't burn down. But that energy is not created in this way. It's created by, and what I understood, it will be like, imagine yourself deep, deep, deep down in the water, underwater, and you create a air bubble. And the bubble has so huge pressure in it. It would say infinitely huge, because the universe is infinite, and it's trying to get back. It's trying to get back and trying to get back. Well, normally it will float up, but there it's standing and trying to get back. The huge pressure is coming, and this energy is created from that pressure. From that pressure, this is more simply way how can I explain it, and that energy is taken from there. You would say the space-time. It creates a portal. And the scientist, what he was saying, he was like, well, yeah, this is very interesting, because once we applied more energy to it, in the room there was completely no radiation anymore. And another thing was that, there were some papers on the desk, and they started to move around. And again, the channel said that yes, this is because the energy creates a space-time portal, and it can change all the values of any object. It can change and teleport. Again, object is and has the energy. I would use the same analogy. Like, imagine yourself. There's a level of water, and if you put inside some kind of for example, fuel, like 98E fuel, it will float up, because the value of it is lighter. If you put sand in it, it will flow down. And this is the same with objects in space and time. The object location is dependent on how thick, dense the energy is, and it instantly moves to that direction where is the place, like representative more of that energy. And this energy changes these values. It can change completely these values. And there was then what happened, we were also channeling more about Tesla, and he said he invented this energy, but it's not like he invented it, has already been there. But he was invited by some kind of a businessman who paid him everything, paid for the experiments, paid for materials, paid for everything, because that man wanted to commercialize this energy. He wanted to create this energy in a measurements. Well, I'm not sure if I understood correctly, but before the energy was not measurable. It was like you have a light bulb in your house, and you just pay for the light, electricity, the light itself. You just pay for it. You don't pay for the amount that is consumed. And they wanted to create it commercialized. So the Tesla used this knowledge, all that he had, and created that energy to be polarized. And then he created magnets, or magnets were already created, but the most necessary thing were the magnets for that, because the magnets do the same. They create the portal where the energy is coming through. And because of the portal where the energy is coming through, it can be put it further. Now, what are magnets and what are wires? Magnets basically are the energy senders. The magnet itself is the energy portal, small portal, and there is always a center axis in the magnet. And when the magnets, when the wirings are coming through, when the wirings are closer, the wire itself is like a superconductor. It shortens space and time, and the magnet is on the, for example, the wire is 1 kilometer long, and the generator is moving it. The wire itself reduces space from the magnet to the other magnet. It becomes superconductive. It's a completely different way. So basically, 1 kilometer of wire is basically a few millimeters of magnet distance. So basically, what happens is the magnet is instantly over there at the end of the wire also. So it's a manipulation of magnets and rotation. So it's basically the wire, for in energy perspective, wire reduces the distance by 1,000,000% or 1,000%, whatever. I hope I explained this really easy. Now, going it further, there is this coral castle that was created, and what he said is that this is also the same energy, and the energy was to produce this energy is really easy. You need to create only a little portal, and you can create it by little magnetic field, and then you need to harness the energy within to another object. But the thing is that when this energy is produced, you can apply it to like rocks, and you can change completely their form, completely their weight, completely everything can be changed. So this was getting really interesting. It was so getting really interesting. I was amazed. And this was the Edward Lutz was doing. He was creating some kind of wires around the rocks and some kind of small generator, and then he was lifting and moving these rocks. Well, this is the same, completely the same idea. No, but I have a parrot now, and he wants to have a snack. I'm just looking how he's moving, but maybe he will figure out a way how to get there. And now, for getting more deeper in this energy, what was getting further of that energy, more deep, we were going further with this understanding of this energy, and what was said is that the energy is the same as you have the Bermuda Triangle, the triangle where there's ships missing and suddenly gone something, and the same as in pyramids. And this was really interesting for me because we were like maybe half a year ago channeling an entity that also was complaining that this energy to us is not understandable. Well, now I know what is this energy. I don't know how to manage to get it, but I know somebody that has already produced that energy. And what was explained in the sorry is that the rocks can be lifted through with this energy. Humans also can produce this energy. You can change the object value. You can change the value of the object. For example, you can change any metal into gold by knowing how to apply the certain vibrations and energies. Because it changes completely everything. Well, this is what I have said for many times, but this is we were like talking too much because we were not understanding all this. And sorry, only after some hours of talks we start to understand what is this really all about. And what happened then was it was images of how you teleport into space. And this was getting even more interesting. As I said to the scientists, well, this energy can also teleport objects. It can change values of objects. It can teleport anything into time and space. I think it can also clone humans. It can clone physically, have a complete copy of your body. It can clone that, and it can change. It can change DNA structure. Well, I'm talking mindly now for this understanding, but I have what I understood is more deeper than that. What was said is that also is it creates holes. It creates the black holes in the universe. This energy also creates black holes. It also, for example, I forgot where I was. The teleportation. Okay, so the teleportation. The Tesla. I forgot to tell the history of Tesla. So he worked for this man who wanted to commercialize this energy, and once Tesla managed to get it to DC current, that is the AC and DC current. When he managed to get to that point, all his inventions were destroyed. All financial support was stopped given, and everything was created for commercializing. And every history about energy was changed. All history, all books were burned down because the information was so great. By knowing this, you know all that I have told about teleportation, about time travel, so on and so on, because this energy is easy to understand. And Tesla said that a physical mind will never understand it. It's only a mind that has spirituality in it that can understand what is this all about. Because physical mind thinks there's space, distance, measurements, and so on, but there is no such thing. Measurements are only created in this, you would say, commercial energy, what we have here. And all devices are built after this commercial energy. And what Tesla wanted to share is he wanted to overcome all these wirings, all these selling energies. He was the one who invented this, and he didn't never wanted to do it for money. He wanted for the humanity, and he was thinking of a way to overcome this. And the only way he thought to overcome this is to give out free energy. But he knew that this understanding, what has been told as a device, shall never be given to humans, because humans can manipulate it and do something bad things to this device. And lose in space and time, or travel in another, I would say, reality, and so on. He wanted to create a wireless energy transmission, but he wanted firstly to create an infinite energy source on which then he can transform that. He wanted this energy that has been generated from this energy we call the strange energy, the energy of the universe. He wanted to convert it to a frequency, a high frequency, and then he wanted just to create like a radio machine. You have like a radio, and in home anybody can tune up to the particular frequency and receive the energy that is created from that high frequency antenna. It's basically the same as radio, only it delivers different way of energy, and it is being received in a different way. Now, what I was asking how the radio works and what the idea of the radio is. He said, well, basically, you don't with energy you don't think physically, like distance, and there's wires and something is going through wires. In energy, you imagine a completely another reality. Like we have, like for example, we are living up on the ground, and down below in water, fishes have different values, distance, height, and everything. But we're looking at the water, it's plain. Well, imagine this is you're looking inside the reality in a much deeper level, and in a level that is like a water. It doesn't have a distance. It can float anywhere he wants, and it can change form as he wants, and it can be anything as it wants. It doesn't have a metal distance. You cannot do with everything. It's everything. He said, for example, turn on the screen. I don't see me anymore. Wait. Yep, it's dark. Okay, you see me pretty bad. Okay, sorry for the darkness. I didn't know it's so dark. For example, there is one antenna here and the other antenna is here. What happened is the antenna is amplified into frequency, and it creates an energy field around it. The other antenna is also applied into frequency, and it creates another field around it. When there is a one antenna, the energy is moving around it like this, like around it like this. But when there is another antenna amplified pretty much, and the another antenna amplified pretty much, and they are both on the same wave, the energy doesn't move anymore like this around it. It starts moving around the both antennas, and the both antennas become as one. Understand? They become as one, and because of that, you can slowly and smallly change the frequency of this and the impulses of this, and the energy that will come through, it will start to vibrate. It will start to vibrate and send energy through here, and this will also have the effect of the same vibration. But it has to be done in a polite way. You cannot change it too much. So this was the idea of the energy of the radio device. And what was said is that this energy transmission that he wanted to create for the whole world was that he doesn't give out the knowledge of how the energy is and what the energy is, but he gives out the end result that can be received by a specific type of energy adjustments. Basically, it's like a radio, only in a different way. So I understand in spirals and in something like this. And the next thing was about teleportation. And then it was like, oh, yes, you had the Philadelphian experiment where the ship was teleported. He said, yes, the people who stole these ideas from him, they understood this idea also, and they wanted to reproduce the idea. The parrot was swinging his wings, and the people wanted, the military wanted to reproduce this idea of the teleportation, and the energy is very simple, but they didn't know that. What they didn't know that is it requires special adjustments, and these adjustments have to be studied carefully and reproduced really carefully. But teleportation with this energy is possible, and it is nothing strong, nothing difficult. And what I understand now when I was communicating with you is that everything that is a whole, like a human body, like human body, like like a camera, like a computer that is a whole, like a flower, it can be teleported easily. But the problem with that ship was that it was teleported and disappeared, and the whole crew who was on the ship had basically the same distance, location, energy, vibration as the ship that has had, and that's why the crew got to they were how to say, well, imagine a ship and one person is inside of the metal. He's inside of the metal, and this is because the metal and the whole ship had the same energy. It needed one by one teleportation, one by one, and it has to be really precise and really smooth given. And the other thing is that in a way it is dangerous. This energy is dangerous because if you are doing it strongly inside of a room, in your room, it can teleport your room and you into a completely different space with everything that is in. And this is also very interesting. It can lock you out of space. So what was that? There was more. Don't remember. It was lots of communication with him. Well, yeah, so how is this energy produced? You can have a look at space-time antenna, and I will do another video for it and about it. And okay, so this is it for me now. Hope you enjoy this, and enjoy your time.